So it's no secret that Call of Duty has been shrinking in size. The community has been shrinking.
The game isn't finished, and that's what I've said multiple times.
You come back here, everything is dead. The game feels so deserted.
And, you know, I hate to say it, but I've even gotten bored of it myself.
They left World War II and all of its problems for a promotion.
You had one job to do. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? SeanEDawgz here, and I'm sure there's a million questions racing through your mind right now. How many years did it take me to make that opening sequence? Am I alive? Where have I been? Why am I wearing a hat? I'll answer all these at the end of the video. I don't mean to brush them aside like that, but I want to focus on the big question that is on everybody's mind. Is Call of Duty dead? A touchy subject for some, a no-brainer for others. My aim is to provide you with not only the facts and figures, what exactly the player base is for Call of Duty World War II specifically, but give you the overall big picture as well as my own insights on the matter so you can better understand the situation, know all the competitors, cough cough Fortnite, and be informed on the issue at hand. The first thing that I'll let you guys in on was what shocked me the most about Call of Duty World War II, and that's just how many people are still playing this game each and every single day. I'll pull up the stats, and the way that I was able to get my hands on these numbers, because the player count isn't publicly displayed on Call of Duty World War II, is if you catch the leaderboards just right when the monthly and the weeklies are updating, you can look it up every few hours and see just how many people have logged in that short amount of time. So that's exactly what I did. The monthly leaderboard for April had just refreshed, and I was able to find out both on Xbox and PS4, because I own both consoles, how many people are playing the game. So on Xbox, within a span of 5 hours, now where I got that number from, I saw when I was looking at the PS4 leaderboard, the guy who had accumulated the most playtime was 5 hours and 4 minutes. Everyone else who was pretty high up there was around 4.5 hours. So it's pretty safe to assume that the leaderboard had just updated, I'd say within 6 hours. And in that very short span of time, 240,000 people had logged in on Xbox and 535,000 on PS4. Now this was very early on in the morning, so this is not during peak hours, and that's still almost 800,000 people within a span of 6 hours. And that's not including the PC player base, which I can guarantee you it's smaller than the Xbox player base of those 240,000 people, but it would definitely push the numbers up closer to 1 million people playing the game within 5 to 6 hours, which is not bad. Obviously, it could be better. I'm sure there's been a bunch of CODs in the past that have blown that number out the water, probably by 50%, maybe even double, because this Call of Duty, it's lacking in popularity to say the least, but that's still quite a decent amount of players playing the game. And if we broaden that out to a week, in a full week, we have a total amount of players that have accumulated some score over the last 7 days. 1.76 million people on Xbox and 3.18 million people on PS4. That adds up to almost 5 million. And again, that's not counting the PC players. I'm sure that pushes it very close, if not over 6 million. So when people say that Call of Duty World War II is a dead game, I die a little inside, not because I have a passionate love for the game, but because I know that it still has a pretty active fan base, and there are a lot of people logging into the game each and every single day, even as of April 1st and April 2nd when I checked these leaderboards. So what gives? Why are people saying that Call of Duty is dead when I just told you the straight up facts and figures? There's a pretty decent amount of people playing this game. Granted, it's been larger in previous Call of Duties. The main reason, I will tell you, In one word, Fortnite. This game is taking over gaming. It's all over social media. You got Drake playing it. It's killing the game. It's coming to mobile. It probably has close to 40 million people playing that game. People have estimated between 30 and 40 million. Nobody knows the exact numbers besides Epic Games themselves, but this game is crushing it. When you look at any game compared to Fortnite, you can say it's a dead game, and that's because there's a largely different business model compared to most console games that Epic Games is following with Fortnite. I'll get into that in just a second, but it's very easy to see why people think that Call of Duty World War II is dead. If you try to find the game on Twitch and you go to the browse section, that sorts games based on popularity. The most popular games will be at the top, obviously the least popular at the bottom. Call of Duty World War II is always around the 50s and 60s. It's very low down there. Usually in the past, it's been in the top 10 pretty much all the time, but no one is streaming this game, and that's because it's not necessarily an entertaining game to stream. There's a lot of camping that goes on. It's very difficult to get kill streaks, at least high kill streaks. It's definitely not an easy feat to get a nuke in this game, like let's say Infinite Warfare, which I was getting like 5 nukes a day easy, and none of the pros really stream it as well. From time to time, you'll see 1 or 2 pros streaming their scrims, but for the most part, there's no one on there. So if you're just looking at it based off of Twitch, you're gonna think, yeah, the game is dead. Now, if we go over to YouTube, all of your predominantly Call of Duty YouTubers, and the reason I say it like that is because a lot of people aren't Call of Duty YouTubers because they love the game. They're Call of Duty YouTubers because they're trying to make a living on YouTube, and Call of Duty is usually the most popular game. That's where you're gonna get all of your views if you're a gaming YouTube channel. But since they've seen what's going on with Fortnite, they've hopped on that train. They've left Call of Duty completely. I don't have to sit here and call people out. It's not like they're doing a bad thing. It's like, why would you make less money when you could make more money? So it makes sense for them to go over to Fortnite. So why haven't I switched? I don't necessarily like the game. I think it's a very good game on PC. On console, not so much. It has a bunch of lags and skips because you're not using a mouse and keyboard, and the key bindings are a little bit different. The game does not play anywhere near the same in terms of the pace, the accuracy that you can have, the plays that you can make. It's almost 2 different games. It's a lot better to play on PC. I'm not really a PC gamer. It would take me a long time to get used to it. And the gunfights in that game just don't give me the same feeling that I get when I'm playing Call of Duty. So while I will stand behind the statement that Call of Duty is not dead, it certainly is dying. It's losing players compared to what the numbers have been in the past. And if you look for the game on Twitch or YouTube or try to compare it to the next big thing like Fortnite, it's obviously going to look like a dead game in their eyes. So where did it all go wrong? What happened? And I would say this started right after the Modern Warfare 3 and BO2 era. Call of Duty had continued to gain popularity. All of your OG COD fans are going to say, yeah, your best CODs are COD 4 or Modern Warfare 2, because that's what they started on. That's where they really put in most of their hours in Call of Duty. But it was the most popular during those MW3 and BO2 games. Those are some of the highest selling CODs out there. People say that BO2 had the absolutely perfect system. They had the pick 10, the maps were beautiful, everything about that game was perfect, and they basically just had to copy and paste it for the last 5 years, and they haven't done that. Immediately after, we have Ghosts, which was one of the most hated CODs out there. It was too slow paced. You basically had to use 1 or 2 guns. You died instantly. It was not going well with the community. Then we have the introduction of the jetpacking CODs, and you lose even more of your fan base. So on the off chance that any Call of Duty developers or any members of Activision are watching this, just copy and paste Black Ops 2 for the next 20 years and Call of Duty will continue to thrive and will be the #1 game out there. Fortnite would not have even come close if Call of Duty made a stellar title this year. Instead, we have the snooze fest that is World War II. Now, I still do like playing competitive in Call of Duty World War II, both on game battles and rank play. I still think that's a lot of fun. I think the competitive is still playable because pros have a lot of influence into what goes into that. But the public matches, most of the time I play like 5 to 10 matches, I get bored and I get off. But that's not to say you still can't hit some cool clips. I can still make entertaining videos on it. Just as a gameplay experience, I don't necessarily think it's that fun. Now, I don't speak for everyone. You can agree or disagree down below in the comments. The game still has a lot of fans. I just think they did things wrong compared to the previous CODs, and that's why it's sort of scaling back in the player base and allowing games like Fortnite to take over. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I want to clarify. If I say a Call of Duty game is bad, which I will say that for Call of Duty World War II, in my personal opinion, that is the worst Call of Duty so far, right up there with Ghosts for me. But when I say a COD is bad, that means it's a 7 out of 10 in the scale of every game out there. A good COD is like a 9.8. This is of course based on the 1 to 10 scale of COD fanboyism, where COD tops out every other game on the market. So don't think I'm hating on COD World War II. There's nothing particularly horrible about it. I just think it could have done a lot of aspects of the game much better than they were executed. It had its problems at launch. The create a class system was a bust in my opinion, and the score streaks just don't really make the cut. But if you remember a video of mine that I made quite a while ago, it was called The Future of Call of Duty. I predicted exactly what was going to happen. I said I don't really have that much faith in Sledgehammer, and that the next big thing in gaming is going to be Fortnite. Think about that. I said that in September, even 2 months before the release of Call of Duty World War II, and look what's happening now. So I don't just say things to say them. I give you my opinion based on what I am seeing, what's going on around me, and I'm usually pretty accurate in my predictions. Now, why am I saying all this? Because I'm about to say something that's a little crazy, maybe a little controversial, and all of you are not going to agree with me, and that is that Fortnite and this whole battle royale genre of games, I think it's a gimmick. That is not a knock on the genre of games. I do think it's very enjoyable. It's highly addictive. That's why you see this massive influx of players in the last few years flocking to games like PUBG, H1Z1, and now Fortnite. It's the new big thing that's taking over the market, and I'm here to tell you that it's not going to last. I don't think it's any different than the Harlem Shake in that it's a fad. It's gonna go out of style as quickly as it got in style. The reason why it's so big right now, I'm telling you right now, the secret to any game being successful, besides making a good game, yes, you could always do that, but that's not always the case. Popular games does not always equate to the best games out there. What makes games popular is you have to hold the attention of the majority of your fan base. And how do you do that? You appeal to casuals. You're people that are getting 1 kill a game in Fortnite and that are going 3 and 27 in Call of Duty. Those are the majority of your players. They're not playing the game a crazy amount of hours every day. They're playing maybe 2 or 3 hours at the most. Maybe they're not the best at the game, but you still got to keep them interested. How do you do that? Well, in Fortnite, if you get 1 kill, you can win a game that has 100 people in it. Just think about that. If you get 1 kill in a Call of Duty game, you're getting absolutely thrashed. The other team probably has score streaks. The score is not even close, and you're not having a fun experience. Meanwhile, on Fortnite, you could be sitting in a bush, you get your 1 kill, and you win the game. You have that high of, oh my god, I'm the best person in the lobby. I just beat 99 other players. That is the difference. That's why Battle Royale is catching so much fire recently, why it's increasing in popularity. It's because that feeling of when you win, it's so cool when you do it the first time, but if you keep playing the game, you keep getting really good at it. And that's where I sort of got bored with Fortnite. After you get over 100 wins or something, there's no special number, but once you do it a few times, it's not really that fun anymore. Unless you really enjoy the core gameplay, you're gonna move on to something else. So that's my whole take on the situation. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that it is much harder for a game like Fortnite to compete with a game like Call of Duty in terms of how they make money. That's because Fortnite released a free-to-play game, so you got to think of it more of like a game that you would play on your iPhone. You would download from the App Store for free, and that you would go, and the only way that they're going to make money off of you is by serving ads, which Fortnite doesn't really do, or by you giving into the microtransactions, buying things like V-Bucks. So if you think about it, Call of Duty is a lot more sustainable in terms of making a game every year, because they're getting $60 minimum from each person who buys the game at launch. And then they have DLCs, which is just adding additional revenue, and then supply drops to go on top of that. Although I personally don't like supply drops, it does make them a ton of money. So Even if Call of Duty has a much smaller player base than Fortnite, it's much easier for them to make money, add more updates into the game, and hopefully, or at least you would think, that translates into a better gameplay experience, both in terms of how the servers work, how the actual game functions itself, and how the content's being updated. Currently, it seems like even Epic is winning out with Fortnite on that. They're updating the game very frequently, although you do start to see on console some of the back-end mechanics are failing. You have new glitches introduced every time they update the game, and who knows how long Fortnite will last. Now, I wish it the best of success. This is not a video bashing Fortnite, but Call of Duty is on its 14th title of the franchise. The fan base for the series has withstood the test of time. We don't know if that will be the case for Fortnite, only time will tell. So that brings us back to the original question. Is Call of Duty dead? Absolutely not. I gave you the facts and figures. It's just that Fortnite's taken over a little bit, and it's sort of diminishing what Call of Duty has done over the years. Surely the likes of David Van der Haar and BO4, they'll save us from this trend that we've been having, the downward slope the last 5 years of Call of Duty. And with the release of that game in October, let me know down below in the comments, do you guys think that it will surpass Fortnite or whatever the most popular game at that time happens to be? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the matter, but now, the important questions that everyone wants to know. Why am I wearing a hat? What's going on, Sean? You don't wear hats. And it's much easier to answer that question than is Call of Duty dead? Honestly, I put my headset on and it sort of messed up my hair a little, so I'm like, let me just throw on a hat, because I actually decided to grow out my hair recently. Right now it's only like 1.5 inches. It's not that long, but it still gets messed up with the headphones. So you probably won't see this hat all the time. It was just like a last minute thing. As for the upload schedule, what's going on with that? Well, I was struggling to find content that I was comfortable making with Call of Duty World War II, as well as seeing if I wanted to do YouTube as something full-time. How would I manage that? I guess I was just hesitant to pull the trigger, just go all out with it and see what happens. So will I maintain an upload schedule daily from here on out? Only time will tell. I certainly plan on it. I don't know if anything's gonna come up. I don't believe that anything will, so technically I should be uploading from here on out every single day. But again, only time will tell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be many more to come. If you did enjoy, drop a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, drop a like. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
One job, just remember the name. SeanEDawgz, I never claimed to be the best in the game, but I'm close, better than most, not trying to boast, but when it comes to black sky camo, I am the GOAT. People to meet, places to be, still making time for just you and me. Like and subscribe if you're feeling the beat. I don't do this for fame, I do this for me. I do this for me. I do this for me.